Earth holds within it places so strange, they challenge both science and imagination. Where icy volcanoes still simmer beneath the surface, and forests grow beneath lake beds. Mountain ranges gleam with the colors of the rainbow, and stone pillars rise skyward, as if sculpted by a giant hand. And most remarkably, have you heard of Golden Rock? A massive boulder that has balanced on the edge of a cliff for 2,500 years, defying every known law of physics. After the recent 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Myanmar, is it still standing? The answer awaits you at the end of this video. But first, join World Mystery Wonders on a journey to uncover the most mysterious places, where nature not only shapes the land, but leaves behind secrets that have never been explained.
Kayindi Lake, Nats, Kazakhstan. Hidden at an altitude of over 2,000 meters above sea level.
Amidst the majestic Tian Shan Mountains of Kazakhstan, Kayindi Lake appears like a gateway. A place where nature quietly tells its story through stone, water, and time. In 1911, a powerful earthquake triggered a massive limestone landslide that blocked a stream, unintentionally creating Kayindi Lake, submerging an entire lush pine forest. Strangely, even after more than a century, the submerged pine trunks remain remarkably preserved, thanks to the lake's cold depths and unique mineral composition. Above the surface, the tree trunks jut out like moss-covered spears, forming a hauntingly beautiful scene. Unlike anything else on Earth, the lake is about 30 meters deep, with crystal-clear water that shifts in color depending on the sunlight and weather. In winter, the surface freezes, allowing you to literally walk across the fossilized forest, as if stepping between dimensions. Located about 130 kilometers from Almaty, reaching Kayindi requires navigating rugged trails and winding uphill roads, a journey that's far from easy. But this remoteness helps preserve the lake's untouched, almost otherworldly tranquility. The best time to witness Kayindi's surreal beauty is in summer, when the lake mirrors the sky like glass. Is it still standing? The answer awaits you at the end of this video. Giant's Causeway, Howthant, Northern Ireland. Along the windswept coast of Northern Ireland lies a place where the very definition of nature becomes blurred. This is the Giant's Causeway, a majestic formation that at first glance might convince you it was built by aliens. Nearly 40,000 hexagonal basalt columns, stacked tightly together with astonishing precision, stretch from the mainland out into the open sea. Varying in height, the columns resemble colossal steps leading into the ocean's depths. When the tide recedes, a place where nature quietly tells its story through stone, water, and time. But never finished. According to Irish legend, the causeway was built by the giant Finn McCool, who wanted to cross the sea to Scotland to challenge his rival. But upon seeing the opponent's massive size, Finn panicked and fled. His clever wife disguised him as a baby. When the rival saw the child, he imagined the father must be larger. Terrified, he turned back and destroyed the causeway behind him. From a scientific perspective, these columns were formed around 50 million years ago during intense volcanic activity. As molten lava cooled, it contracted and fractured into geometric shapes, creating the columns. Yet the unnatural perfection of their shape and structure still leaves scientists in awe. Mount Roraima, Vande, Venezuela. Amid the mist-covered jungles of the Amazon, Mount Roraima rises like an isolated prehistoric fortress. With its flat summit, seemingly sliced from the sky, this majestic plateau sits at the tri-border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, towering about 2,810 meters above sea level. It is a remnant of the ancient Guiana Shield, one of the oldest formations on Earth. Believed to have formed over 2 billion years ago, Roraima is unlike any mountain. Its tabletop summit looks as though someone took a blade and carved through the sky. Sheer cliffs surround it, while thick clouds cling to its base like a protective veil, separating it from the outside world. At its summit lies an isolated ecosystem, home to plants and creatures found nowhere else on Earth, like the pitcher plants, or tiny frogs that dwell only in ancient rain-filled rock pools. It's a world sealed off for millions of years. To the indigenous people, this is sacred land. According to legends of the Pemon tribe, Roraima was once a giant tree that gave birth to all fruits and plants. When the tree was felled, a flood swept, and the mountain is all that remains. For explorers, it's like a time capsule. Dedvlei, Pakin, Namib Desert, Namibia. In a place where the heat seems to melt the air, where the sun hangs like a blazing red eye, there exists a land both overwhelming and haunting. This is Dedvlei, the Dead Marsh, nestled in the heart of the Namib Desert. Here, ancient camelthorn trees, dead for over 900 years, still stand eerily intact, charred black and motionless against the stark white clay ground and red sand dunes that rise up to 300 meters. The strange stillness makes you feel in a post-apocalyptic world, where sound, life, and movement have been frozen forever. Once, Dedvlei was an oasis, nourished by the Tsauchab River. But when shifting sand dunes cut off the flow, all life was abruptly severed. The climate is so dry that not even microorganisms survive, causing the trees to die without decaying, becoming wooden statues turned to stone. Under the blazing sun, the shadows of the trees stretch across the white earth. In chilling contrast to the deep blue sky and fiery red dunes, a surreal masterpiece, untouched by human hands. No birdsong, no wind, only the solemn silence of nature, telling a story of life, death, and a beauty that transcends destruction. Dedvlei is a powerful reminder that nature can turn decay into eternal art. Moeraki Boulders, Moerat, New Zealand. On Kokohe Beach, located on New Zealand's South Island, you'll encounter one of the strangest sights on Earth. Perfectly round boulders, as large as cars, scattered across the sand as if they had just fallen from the sky. These are the Moeraki boulders.
One of the planet's most mysterious natural wonders. Each boulder is almost a perfect sphere.
Some measuring over 2 meters in diameter, with smooth surfaces. A few have cracked open, revealing strange honeycomb-like patterns inside. When the tide rises and the waves gently lap around them, they appear like ancient creatures, awakening from the depths of the ocean. According to geologists, these boulders are the result of concretions, a process that began around 60 million years ago, when minerals began to precipitate around an organic core beneath the seabed, similar to how a pearl forms inside a shell. Over time, sediment compressed the structures, and as the sea retreated, these giant pearls were left exposed on the shore. But the Maori people have a different story. To them, these stones are sacred relics from a mythical shipwreck. The water containers, ropes, and fishing nets turned to stone.
For the Maori, these aren't just rocks. They are a spiritual link to their ancestors.
Untouched by human hands. No birdsong, no wind, only the solemn silence of nature. Lies a landscape that looks as if it belongs to another planet. This is Spotted Lake, where in summer, the lake's surface transforms into a massive color palette, filled with vivid circular spots of green, yellow, white, and brown, overlapping like a natural abstract painting. This bizarre phenomenon is caused by the lake's extremely high mineral concentration, especially magnesium sulfate, calcium and sodium sulfate. In the summer, as the water evaporates, the minerals crystallize and reveal hundreds of round spots, each forming a mini lake, with its own distinct color depending on the minerals within. These spots can change shape and color with temperature, sunlight, and rainfall, creating an ever-shifting landscape. In some areas, the mineral deposits are thick enough that you can walk across the surface, as if on crystallized salt. But for the Okanagan First Nations people, this place is more than a curiosity. They call it Kiluk, a sacred lake, believed to possess healing powers thanks to the unique mineral content. Today, the lake is strictly protected, and visitors may only observe it from a distance. Mount Erebus, Antarctica. In the coldest place on Earth, where life seems frozen, an unbelievable paradox exists. Giant ice towers rising from an active volcano. This is Mount Erebus, a blazing fortress of fire nestled in the icy heart of Antarctica. Standing over 3,794 meters tall, Erebus is one of the few volcanoes with a lava lake. But what makes it truly surreal are the hollow ice towers, some reaching 10 meters high, growing from the volcano's steam vents as superheated gases rise from deep within and meet the extreme sub-zero temperatures. They instantly freeze, forming crystalline chimneys, pure white and glowing in the sunlight like frozen spirits. On rare sunny days, sunlight filters through the transparent ice, casting a mystical blue glow. But what makes Erebus truly legendary is what lies inside these icy pillars.
Scientists have discovered a miracle: extremophiles bacteria, organisms that live without sunlight,
without oxygen, and can survive in extreme cold and toxic gases. These microbes could be the key to understanding life on frozen worlds like Mars. Reaching Erebus means crossing glaciers, braving blizzards, and enduring profound isolation. To stand where fire and ice coexist is a truly surreal experience.
Haukadalur geothermal field, Minas, Iceland. In the land of fire and ice.
There's a place where the Earth never truly sleeps. This is Haukadalur.
A strange and powerful geothermal field where boiling water shoots skyward.
Mud pots bubble fiercely, and sulfuric steam coils through the air like ghostly mist.
It's a primordial world where you can feel the fiery heart of the planet.
The first geyser ever recorded in human history, and the origin of the word geyser.
Though geyser is now largely dormant, it occasionally awakens after major earthquakes. Erupting with boiling water, soaring up to 70 meters high. A sudden outburst of Mother Nature's fury. At the center lies Strokkur.
The most famous active geyser in Iceland, which erupts every 5 to 10 minutes.
Shooting water 20 to 30 meters into the air like clockwork. Here, the ground shudders lightly beneath you. Steam hisses, mud boils. And the thick scent of sulfur hangs in the air, making you feel in a world that refuses to be tamed.
Haukadalur is where you can feel life itself, shifting and stirring beneath the crust.
Zhangye Danxia Geopark, Tinus, China. In the remote northwest of China, where sun and wind relentlessly shape the barren mountains, lies a land that has stunned the world.
At Zhangye Danxia Geopark, nature has accomplished the seemingly impossible.
Creating mountains painted with the colors of the rainbow, so vivid and mystical that it's hard to believe they're real. This phenomenon was formed over millions of years. As layers of mineral-rich sedimentary rock were deposited and compressed. Iron oxide gives the mountains their red hues, while manganese and copper contribute other shades, blending together into a symphony of color. Each mountain ridge appears like a silk ribbon,
Dyed by time itself. On sunny days, the colors shift with the changing light.
glowing at sunrise, softening at sunset, and appearing dreamlike under the moon. From above, the rolling hills resemble waves of fire stretching to the horizon.
The terrain is not only extraordinary in color, but also in form, with sharp peaks,
Deep crevices and sheer cliffs that seem sculpted by a divine hand. Locals believe this place was once home to the gods. Some mountains are named after animals. Danxia is a reminder that you don't just witness beauty, but feel time itself. Mount Thor, Paond, Canada. Amid the icy expanse of Nunavut in the Canadian Arctic,
stands a mountain named after the Norse god of thunder, Mount Thor.
But this isn't just a symbolic name. Mount Thor truly possesses the power of a god. Boasting the world's tallest vertical cliff, nearly 1,550 meters of sheer rock. Cold and utterly unforgiving rock. From a distance, It appears as a colossal stone wall, rising straight into the sky. Its west face tilts at over 105 degrees.
A sudden outburst of Mother Nature's fury. At the center lies Strokkur.
Although its summit reaches only 1,675 meters, the mountain's sheer drop. Extreme climate and remote location make it one of the most daunting challenges for climbers. Those who've stood before it admit it's not just physical strength being tested, but the very limits of human willpower. Scientifically, Mount Thor is an overhanging granite wall, a geological phenomenon formed by tectonic uplift over millions of years. But when you stand before it, you won't be thinking about geology. You will feel the insignificance of humanity and the majesty of nature. Mount Thor is a living monument of defiance. Only a few have ever reached its summit.
The 12 Apostles pants Australia. Along Australia's iconic Great Ocean Road,
There's a place that leaves every visitor speechless at first sight. These are the 12 Apostles. Towering limestone pillars rising from the sea like stone deities, silently guarding the southern horizon. Despite the name, their number was never 12. Originally, there were 9, and now, after millions of years of erosion, only 8 remain standing. Yet this very loss gives the place a deeper sense of emotion. As if you're witnessing time slowly erasing the memories of the universe. Each pillar, up to 50 meters tall, stands quietly in the turquoise waters, endlessly caressed by crashing waves. At sunrise and sunset, golden light bathes the stones, turning them into glowing statues, as if they belong to some sacred, forgotten world. And when storms roll in, the sea roars, foam sprays high into the air, and the apostles vanish into a mist of water, like ancient relics. According to local legend, each pillar holds the soul of a sea spirit, turned to stone for breaking an ancient curse. The feeling of standing before them is undeniable. The 12 Apostles are a living lesson in impermanence, a reminder of beauty that fades. Bermeja Island, Inabs, Mexico. For centuries, Spanish nautical maps recorded a small island off the coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, located at latitude 22 degrees north.
it was long considered unquestionably real, appearing on official maps until the 20th century.
And yet, today, no one can find it. With the rise of satellite technology, the Mexican government launched several surveys in the 1990s to confirm its location.
Their goal was to strengthen the nation's maritime boundary. But the result? Nothing.
No trace, no rock, no reef, as if Bermeja never existed at all.
The world was stunned. Some theories suggest the island sank due to tectonic activity,
Or rising sea levels. Others believe it never existed and was a cartographic error, copied from old maps over the centuries. But the most intriguing are the conspiracy theories. That Bermeja was intentionally destroyed to obscure maritime boundaries. Between Mexico and the United States, especially in an area rich in oil reserves. Whichever theory is true, Bermeja remains one of the greatest mysteries. In modern cartography, a ghost island that continues to haunt the maps. A secret hidden by the waves. Mount Kailash, Hen, Tibet. High on the Tibetan plateau, amidst snow-covered mountain ranges, rises a near-perfect pyramid-shaped peak. This is Mount Kailash. Known by many names, the axis of the world, the center of the universe, or simply, the mountain no one is allowed to climb. Standing at 6,638 meters, Kailash is not the tallest peak in the Himalayas, but it is undoubtedly the most sacred. For followers of Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Bon, Kailash is the dwelling place of gods. Its summit regarded as the center of samsara and the origin of 4 major rivers: Indus, Sutlej, Brahmaputra, and Karnali. Unlike Everest, no one has set foot on its summit. Not because it's impossible, but because it's forbidden. Locals believe climbing is a sin, an act of disrespect toward the divine. The Chinese government has officially banned all climbing, preserving the mountain's sacred purity. Instead, thousands of pilgrims travel each year to circumambulate the base of the mountain, a ritual known as Kora. Spanning dozens of kilometers, it's believed that completing a single circuit can cleanse sins. Kailash is a symbol of the untouchable, a reminder that some things are not meant to be conquered, but revered. Kailash exists to remind us that there are still heights meant to preserve faith. Spanning dozens of kilometers, it's believed that completing a single circuit can cleanse sins. There exists a canyon so narrow that only one person can pass through at a time. Yet it holds one of the most intricate natural masterpieces on Earth. This is Antelope Canyon.
A slot canyon sculpted over millions of years by flash floods and wind-blown sand.
The canyon stretches about 400 meters, but is only 1 to 3 meters wide at its base, with sandstone walls rising up to 37 meters high. It's primarily composed of Navajo sandstone, a type of rock formed from wind-blown sand compacted nearly 190 million years ago. Rainwater and sudden floods carried sand that gradually eroded the rock walls, carving out smooth, spiraling curves like fossilized flows of water frozen in time. But what has turned Antelope Canyon into a global phenomenon is its light effect. From April to September, sunlight streams through the narrow opening above, striking the smooth sandstone surfaces and refracting in dazzling patterns. This transforms the rock walls into shifting waves of color: orange, red, purple, and blue, as if the canyon itself is glowing from within. The phenomenon is so mesmerizing that photographers call it liquid light. Antelope Canyon is the dwelling place of spirits. Golden Rock, Alice, Myanmar. In Myanmar, there exists a natural and spiritual wonder that leaves every visitor in awe. The Golden Rock, also known as Kyaik Tio Pagoda. This massive boulder precariously balances on the edge of a 1,100-meter high cliff, gleaming gold like a floating jewel suspended in mid-air. What's truly miraculous? It touches the rock surface beneath it with less than 20% of its base, Yet it has remained firmly in place for thousands of years, defying all laws of gravity. Recently, when Myanmar was struck by a powerful earthquake, many feared the fate
of this seemingly hovering rock. But the result was astonishing.
Golden Rock didn't move an inch, no cracks, no sign of instability. It is believed that the boulder is miraculously balanced by a single strand of the Buddha's hair, enshrined in the small pagoda built on top of the rock. According to legend, if that hair were ever removed, the rock would tumble into the abyss instantly. Golden Rock has become one of Myanmar's most revered Buddhist pilgrimage sites, attracting tens of thousands of devotees every year. From a scientific perspective, several theories suggest the rock's stability comes from a low center of gravity. You've just completed a journey through the most mysterious places on Earth, where nature not only shapes the land, but also writes stories that go beyond imagination. And perhaps it is precisely the imperfection and the unexplainable that make our planet magnificent. If you too are moved by that beauty, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World Mystery Wonders, so we can continue exploring this world together. A world where the wonders never end. Thank you for watching.